I did this post the other day where this woman was talking about her pest that needed to nest and rest. There is an update. People tend to like it when I just go through the post really quickly so they don't have to find the video if they didn't see it. So I'm gonna go through this short post. Now the thing is the advice subreddit pulled this, but I have the screenshots. So she says, boyfriend who's 31 staying in my apartment since June, help. She says, long story short, he ended up losing the place he was living at. It was my place or his parents. I tried telling him to go to his parents because I had just started living on my own and had been working two jobs to have my place to myself. And I knew he wouldn't be able to help me with bills despite him saying he would like to. It's now at a point that he has a job, but it's never been over 6 months. And I am struggling extremely hard to regulate my emotions. And I, quite frankly, have been a B word and done or said some things I'm really not proud of. Now, here's the issue. Everyone I've talked to has told me I'm not wrong for asking him to leave or go stay with his parents while he figures out getting back on his feet. But he says that his coworkers and parents find it really weird and surprising that I'm not okay with him living with me. I asked him if he included the part that he's been rent and utility free for the past 6 months, and he says he did, and that they still say it's weird, and that if I love him, I should want to help him. I told him I still have love for him, but this apartment was something I worked hard for and was supposed to be my sanctuary where I can just live on my own and not worry about anyone else's habits. Can I please just get some reassurance that I'm not a trash person? Like I said, this got pulled immediately. I saw this. I said, you, ma'am, have a hobosexual on your hands, and this may become a major infestation if you don't fumigate now. You're not an a-hole. You need your space, and he is leeching off of you, and that's a violation. Other people told her that as well. You are absolutely not a trash person. And why the hell would your boyfriend be talking about his relationship at work? He either made up that whole thing or he left out crucial details. He overstepped by not listening to you when he lost his place. And then the OP chimed in saying, I mean, to be fair, I don't think him talking to his coworkers is wrong. We all need people we can confide in and get outside perspectives from. So I have zero problem with him talking about it with his friends that he's made at work. But I did retaliate by telling him the truth about what my friends and relatives have said on the situation, which wasn't very nice. But his response was essentially, then they're trash too, and you shouldn't be talking about this with anyone. That's disrespectful to my situation. All right, here's the update. She says, so first, I want to acknowledge that I am crazy. I get really upset over things that most people don't think about. I have OCD and freak out over things like cooking and then walking by the cat's water or food without washing hands first, because what if you just got pepper in his water when you walked by, and that's toxic to cats. My distress from living with previous roommates who constantly left messes or rotting food in the fridge was a huge reason I wanted to just live alone. When my boyfriend first started staying with me, there was a huge part of me that did love having him around all the time. But we were constantly fighting over how many jobs he was applying to. And if he wasn't working, why did he not have time to apply for more than one job in a week's time period? This would get annoying. Took arguing for weeks and me usually begging him to go to job council or temp agencies before he applied there. That would get annoying because why the hell am I supporting a 31-year-old man who's not even trying to just bring in some money? He finally got a job with a temp agency, and my OCD ran with that because of the metal fragments from the job site he came back with. And it was really stressful and hard on both of us, and I admit a lot of my actions and anxieties were crazy. Anyway, I'm finally letting go of the concerns over what he's bringing back from work. But now, all of the resentment and frustration of the past 6 months has settled back in. And I'm grossed out because my kitchen is constantly covered in crusty stuff from unwashed hands grabbing handles of the stove, microwave, or kitchen. Unwrapped leftovers are constantly being left in the fridge until they're stale and crunchy and not edible. And crusty stuff is all over the shelves in the fridge. I've gotten really frustrated and have told him I need him to be better about deep cleaning because this is a huge reason I wanted to live alone. His response every time is, if it bothers you so much, then you do it. I usually get super angry and respond back, well, if you don't want to help out with cleaning, at least pay rent or bills. You live here for free and can't even deep clean? Then his response is, okay, fine, I'll do it for you. And that triggers me more because I am like, it's not for me. It's part of a normal house maintenance. And being an adult, you are equally as responsible, if not more so, since you're the one making the majority of the mess while cooking and living here for free for 6+ months. Anyway, we argued last night and I told him I'm just done and over it. And I'm at the final point where I just want him to live with his parents and I want him to do so by this weekend because I'm so irritated all the time and I hate it. It got to a point where he went through all of the talking points we've been through in every argument, and I shut him down on each one. I was like, I'm not letting you guilt trip me. This is not an argument or a debate. We've already discussed all of this before. We've already discussed all of this before. This is not what I want. I don't want this. And his only response is, it's always about what you want. You never consider what I want. It's always about you and your feelings and your apartment and how you want things. I pretty much was like, yeah, it is because if you had listened to me 6 months ago, we wouldn't even be here right now. It's always about what I want because you never listened the first time I told you. And then finally, this is the part I was trying to get to. Anyway, that's it. Update is I'm having him move out by the end of the week, but I'm still sad and still wish he would see things from my perspective. Good for you. This woman needs to live alone. She deserves to live alone. She worked hard. I don't care about her OCD and the things that she cares about in her home. It is her home. She can have any kind of irrational spells. She can sprinkle random things around. She can skip if she wanted to. She can throw sparkles. It is her apartment. If she wants her apartment to be clean and this man who is leeching off of her is not doing his part except making messes, and that's the only thing he's good at, he needs to go because she wants to have her apartment how she chooses to have her apartment, and she hasn't had the opportunity to do so. So the thing is, she started off with letting us know that she was crazy and she's part of the problem. And still, I don't give a good goddamn because this is her apartment. This is supposed to be her sanctuary. She should have a clean refrigerator if that is what she chooses. She should not have to have a crusty stovetop because of this man. She absolutely should not have stale food laying around because of this man who's not paying bills, who's being more of a resource leech than he is. He is a liability and he has to go. And I'm so glad we got to that point. She buried it all the way at the bottom. But I wasn't going to give that to you because I had to read through this whole thing to get to that point. So you had to wait for it too. So Classic Iced Tea says, good, you deserve better. This person, Logitech, obviously he didn't get down to the point where she said that she's having him leave. Playful Robot says, you will feel so much better when you've got your apartment back to yourself. This guy isn't willing to contribute anything financially, emotionally, or by taking care of normal chores. That is the thing. Had he not been a slob, had he just pulled his weight and did the normal support stuff in the house, she wouldn't be so irritated. So this is what this man deserves. I agree with no contribution. No contribution says you're not crazy. You just finally hit your limit after 6 months of being unheard in your own home. The mess isn't the issue, the disrespect is. No Mixed Signal said it best. If someone lives in your space, drains your energy, ignores your boundaries, and then says you're selfish, they're not clueless, they're just comfy. You're not asking for too much, you're asking the wrong person. These people need to separate. I'm sorry, not separate. They just need to break up because this is just a boyfriend. And it's a boyfriend that didn't quite learn how to adult. He needs to go back to his parents' house and get some life skills. And he never needs to burden another woman ever, ever again. All right, chime in, y'all. Let me know what you think about this update. I say yay. You let me know what you think.